everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Runs on gun stores. Why? I think anybody with half a brain knows why. All this rioting and looting and stuff going on. I'm kind of wondering, what if it doesn't go away? What if this snowballs into a much bigger event? Civil War II, revolution. I mean, the communists, the quote-unquote anti-fascists, they're actually, all their actions prove them to be actual fascists. They want to bring about a communist revolution. I mean, that's their whole agenda. So what if they actually bring the revolution to a shooting war? That's going to be really scary. I mean, just for the country as a whole. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, all those things. But, yeah, running on gun stores, of course. People are going out buying guns by the droves. I mean, who wouldn't be, I hope you guys are set. I hope you guys have been listening to me and other prepper channels and or just have common sense yourself enough to have firearms, have ammunition, have magazines, have body armor, plates, plate carriers, battle belts, and the physical ability to go defend yourself and your community if you have to. Yeah, it's going crazy. Now it's in Europe. I mean, they're going crazy and attacking cops and burning and rioting and looting and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it has nothing to do with Europe. It's crazy. And I think that stuff happening over there is just adding fuel to the fire of the anarchists, the Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club, liberal, wannabe friggin' militia types. I think it's just adding fire, adding flames, fuel, whatever, to their fire. So I believe in know thy enemy. So, I was just poking around on Twitter today, John Brown Gun Club. Western Washington, John Brown Gun Club in from Seattle area, stuff like that. As well as like the Antifa things and stuff like that. And, so that's where, of course they post where all their protests are. Because they're trying to get their followers to go. So, they post where they're meeting and where they're going. They don't necessarily post the route, but come on. You can figure the route. They're not going to take a circuitous route. They're going to take a direct approach. So you know where they're going. So I'm just saying, if anybody, was out there and wanting to, mess with them, it's pretty easy to. Not condoning that at all whatsoever, but I'm just saying. And some of the things they stand for, it was so funny. Like I was on the John Brown Gun Club, and they said, okay, we are anti, and then the first thing was fascism. Then it was racism or racist. And then it was capitalism. And then I forget what the last one was. Then they said they are for or pro, and the first one was worker. And I'm like, wait a sec. You're anti-capitalist, but you're pro-worker. How does that work out? Capitalism is what motivates workers to work hard so that they can improve their standing in life and improve their situation. Without capitalism, there's nowhere to go. There's no improving your life. There's no bettering your life. Under the socialism that they want to bring about, they don't understand. They don't even comprehend what socialism is. They don't understand that only the ultra-wealthy get more ultra-wealthy. The people that control you. The masses just get the status quo. They have nowhere to go. There's no upward mobility. There's no improving your situation. There's no improving your life. It's pathetic. And then in the last thing that they say is still not a militia. And I thought, whoa, right there, they're admitting that they are federal felons. Because you have a right to form and be part of a militia. You have the constitutional right to form a militia. You do not, however, have the constitutional right to form a private army, which is what they are. John Brown Gun Club equals private army equals felons. That's against the law. You can't do that. So, hey, just saying, are they going to do anything about it? Of course not, because they're tools of the powers that be. They're the ones the powers that be pay, tell them to go riot, stuff like that, send them paychecks to go do the things, and cause all this havoc and stuff like that to further some agenda, whatever it may be. But yeah, and they're basically a bunch of hardcore left-wing liberal fascists, honestly, and self-declared communists, socialists, Marxists, all that kind of stuff. And they're, armed. But by their posts, they don't know that much actually about the arms they're carrying. Some of them may be, but some of them don't. There's one post where, and I'm sorry, this is kind of like just a real rant talk with you guys. I don't know. I kind of just go with the flow sometimes. If I lose you, I'd love it if you stick around and watch the whole video, though. Trust me, we're going to cover a lot of good stuff. But one of the pictures is this picture somebody posted up, one of the John Brown Gun Club members or Antifa members, or they retweeted or something like that, and they said, look at these guys, are these John Brown Gun Club people? And the John Brown Gun Club people were like, this one guy was like, well, no, they're not. Those are probably right-wing, militia, pro-Trumpers, stuff like that. I don't know, a bunch of what they feel is negative comments. To me, it wasn't negative. I'm like, yeah, I'm a right-wing pro-militia Trumper right now. Even though I don't feel he's the best choice. He's not my top choice for president, but he sure as hell is a lot better than the other choices. So, anyway, they said, no, that's not. Those are probably right-wing guys because he has an Aimpoint T1 Micro, which he knew the name. I was like, whoa. But then I looked at the picture. It had a little round, it was black, of course, optic, little round logo that has white writing in it. Couldn't get close enough to see that. But I know for a fact, Aimpoint does not put circular logos on their stuff. Or actually, they do on some of them, but not in that location, on that one, and not on those optics. So, no, it was not an Aimpoint T1 Micro. It looked like a Primary Arms red dot. Still a good red dot. Oh, and they were saying that, this is an Aimpoint T1 Micro, $750 red dot. Only ultra, firearm right-wing geeks would have something like that on their rifles. Wait. So only conservatives are smart enough to have good quality optics on their firearms? What do you have, like center point or whatever those crap optics are, Redfield? Probably. Good thing, because hopefully they'll break if you ever go against us. And they'll fail you when you need them most. But anyway, even if it was, Primary Arms, they're decent optics too. They're good optics. I personally wouldn't pay for an Aimpoint just because if Uncle Sugar's footing the bill, damn straight, I'll go with the best. But if I'm footing the bill, hey, there's a lot of options out there that cost a lot less money that basically do the same thing. So, but yeah, and so they were alluding to the fact, they were talking back and forth and stuff like that, and then they showed this one picture of, their guys. Well, one of them had an AR with a mag-pulled D60, 60-round drum mag. Another one had an AK, looked like an AK-74 with a drum mag also. But no, actually, in second thought, I think it's a 47. It's probably an AK-47 with a drum mag. And then probably a 50-round drum mag. Not sure. And then another person had another AR with a 40-round mag, and there's a woman with an AR with a 30-round mag. I was like, all right, whatever. Their firearms look, pretty well set up. Not too bad. It wasn't like totally dumb. They weren't doing anything totally stupid. They weren't all tricked out with a bunch of dumb stuff. It looked like the stuff that they did have on them, on their firearms, was, decent. Doing, kind of like an intel assessment of the adversary right here, because know thy enemy. Very important. Art of War, Sun Tzu. Their gear, they didn't really have much. The woman had what appeared to be a battle belt on, but had nothing on it that I could tell. Another guy had a battle belt. I think he might have had like a knife. He had some kind of fixed blade knife on it. It looked like some cheapo knockoff knife. The guy with the AK, I think he had a vest on, one of those zip up the middle tactical vests that suck. Those kind of vests suck, with the pouches already sewn on them and stuff like that. They're not modular at all. They're old school. They're just, hey, if it's all you got, go with it. Use it. Whatever. It's better than nothing. But it's definitely not optimal. So these guys, hey, whatever. They seemed like they were, not too poorly set up. And the fact that, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, I don't know if it was just Black Lives Matter, it was Antifa also, meeting with Hamas and exchanging ideas and tactics and stuff like that. That's kind of a scary proposition. So I know a lot of people on the right, conservatives, tend to say, oh yeah, let's go to war with those, fairy, beta male, skirt wearing, trans, whatever, people with their 22s or whatever. Well, let me tell you, those people are not all beta, for one thing, and they are not all just a pushover. A lot of people on the right think, oh, let's go to war. We're going to kick their butts so freaking quickly. Everybody's got every, redneck, every right wing, every conservative, every, lover of America, Second Amendment type, every militia type, all this stuff. We got guns, we got gear, all this stuff like that. But honestly, how many of those people actually have training? Proper training in tactics, in, reaction to contact, in squad tactics, light infantry tactics, patrolling, ambushes, quick reaction drills, all this stuff like that. How many of those people do you actually think are tactically proficient on what I call my side, the conservative side? Not that many. Okay, on their side, how many of them are tactically trained? Also, not that many. True, I feel that we outnumber them, gun-wise, people-wise, as far as combatants. But I'll tell you what, you throw in that desire, that anger, that drive, that revolutionary feeling for them, don't discount them. Do not underestimate them. Do not think it would be some simple little thing. They can learn, they can adapt, and trust me, they will have people, and they probably do already have people on their side teaching them tactics. Probably from well-known terrorist organizations that have been utilizing those tactics effectively for decades. So please, don't discount them. This is why I always talk about doing the things, training, getting out in the weather, with your guns, with your gear, getting dirty, getting muddy, doing all the things, dynamically training with your team or with other people, or at least by yourself or your family. If you're one of the people that is going to be a gunslinger, a fighter, if anything goes down, you need to be getting training. It may be too late. I don't know. But it's never too late to start. So please, find some place to train. Find somebody to train you if you don't know who. Find a training academy, a tactical training academy, firearms academy, something like that. Please. It's not just going to be easy. And I'd say that most of it will probably be in the cities. But they've already talked about bringing it to us. They've already talked about, Antifa has already talked about bringing it to small town America. Bringing it out here to what they call the rednecks, the farmers. The people that they think are easy targets. Well, I'm telling you, we're not easy targets. You guys know that. And I know there are some people out there, hey, I'll just grab my deer rifle, go in the woods, and shoot me some Antifa, snowflakes. You might, but I'll tell you what, if you're properly trained, properly equipped, with gear, with physical ability, with training, and the proper mindset, you'll do a hell of a lot better than you will just grabbing that deer rifle and heading out of the woods. Trust me. We need to be ready for a fight, people. I never condone or encourage violence. I've been through enough of it in my life. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to have to switch that switch back on and go to war, especially in my country, on our soil, where our friends, our neighbors, our loved ones are going to be the casualties. It's not what I want whatsoever. Am I willing to do it? Yes, I am. I am willing to fight the good fight if need be. And it may be needed. Like I said, this may snowball into a crazy situation. I can't even remember what I started this video off being titled. But, there's so much going on. And this is just, in Seattle today, I saw, just on that one John Brown Gun Club, I saw, 2, if not 3 different protests. One at 1:30, one at 4, and then I forget what the other one was. The one at 4 is the most worrisome, because it was at the North Seattle PD North Precinct, whatever. I don't know how they name their precincts there. I try to stay out of Seattle anyway. I hate big cities. But yeah, it's at the precinct. So I don't know. That the stages in their communist manifesto, their communist, how to bring about a communist revolution are, first one is to riot, loot, create chaos and havoc and fear. Number 2 is to attack government and government facilities, infrastructure, stuff like that, aka police departments, like burning precincts, burning cop cars, attacking the police, attacking National Guard, burning, all that kind of stuff. The third, however, is ground warfare. That's the combat stage that they've never been able to step into in this country. Whether it's the riots and the craziness in the 60s, or the 70s, or the 80s, or the 90s, or the 2000s, 2020s that we're in now. They've never been able to go to that step. It's a very difficult thing to do in this country, just because of our civility, basically. But that civility is a thin veneer, a very, very thin layer that can go away. Don't be fooled to just say, oh, this is the United States. It would never happen here. Yeah, let me tell you. Did you ever expect to see empty shelves in stores? No flour, no rice, no beans, no eggs, no milk. Did you ever expect to see that in the United States? Oh, this is the United States. It can never happen here. Take this seriously, people. Did you ever expect to see rioting and burning of police stations and looting and craziness? Not saying, I know this isn't the first time, but seriously, do you expect that in the United States? Do you expect running shootouts with cops in St. Louis? Running gun battles? No, that's just not something we expect in the United States. But here it is, on our doorsteps, in our towns, in our neighborhoods. So it's time to step up. It's time to face the music. It's time to get out from behind that keyboard and to make a stand. Protecting neighborhoods, protecting businesses, protecting friends, family, loved ones. If this continues and it gets worse, please step up. I don't know what else to say. I love you guys. Please prep a little every day. Please work on your tactical skills. Shooting something. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.